What's good? Happy Monday to everyone out there. Hope you had an incredible weekend. It's the Lucky Lefty podcast. The Onora boys are in the building. I am your boy Shaun Davis at SD2 Mics. This dude, the original Lucky Lefty himself, Malik Zaire, looking like he's Martin when he went away with that with a rock. We are brought by Onora Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. That premium American whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. And if you drink, by all means, make sure that you do so
responsibly.
And don't forget, we are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Go subscribe right now on YouTube. Smash that like button for us. CFB Nation in conjunction with Irish Breakdown. We are the home of the misguided passion. It's the Lucky Lefty podcast. We truly spin it different. Today, it's a lot to talk about, right? FanDuel, they come out with their win totals early for the 2023 college football season. Notre Dame sits at 8.5. I know where my money is going, but I wonder where everyone else's might be landing on this. We'll talk about that a little bit left. Then we have our NFL Combine recap. Not only the Notre Dame players, but just some things that jumped out at us. And then we lost someone special. Pun intended. A special loss at Notre Dame.
Too much credit on the Lucky Lefty podcast week to week.
Special teams coach. Special teams coach Brian Mason takes a job with the Indianapolis Colts. The search is on. It's been rumors about someone, Marty Biaggi. We'll talk about that. Early enrollees, their official heights and weight. We'll dig into that a little bit. And then I'm glad somebody can say something. It is the traditionalists and the alumni of the University of Notre Dame against the Notre Dame fans and the Subway alumni. It's a battle that's been raging for a bunch of years left. I don't know if you know this.
I don't.
Yeah, we'll get to it. And we have to listen to someone else bring it up and speak the truth about it. So we're going to bring it to LL Nation today and see what they have to say about it, because I thought it was very intriguing. So we'll get to that. I want to start off by saying, I had a great weekend left. How was yours?
Good weekend. Just getting into the swing of things. It's getting warmer out here, so the events are starting to fly around.
Yeah, man. I had a great weekend. Bipolar from a weather standpoint, but a great weekend. Friday, we got hit with a snowstorm. Woke up Saturday, it was all melted away. Weather went up to like the 50s and continued on yesterday, sunny and 50. And the NBA gave me one of the greatest days of viewing pleasure I've ever had yesterday.
Oh, Phoenix versus the Dallas and
Golden State versus the Lakers and the Celtics versus the Knicks. I was like, oh man, this is beautiful. 3 fantastic games.
The NBA definitely needs the Mavs and the Suns to go game 7.
Dude, that has to be a series, right?
It's got to.
Has to be a series. Set it up however you want to set it up.
However you want to set it up.
The fact that the Mavericks sent the Suns home last year the way they did.
Yep.
Luka, Devin Booker. It started last year. It continued yesterday after the game.
Yep. Katie, Kyrie, saga.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
Sign me up. And if they can find a way for Lakers and Golden State, if we can see Lakers and Golden State in the playoffs, sign me up. Sign me up for that too.
They don't look that good though.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
They got to switch. They got to switch. Certain teams just have a switch that other teams don't have.
AD made Golden State. If AD plays like how he did last week and Brown comes back,
that's the problem, right?
It shouldn't be a game.
That's the problem, right?
And Chicago man can't stay uninjured.
Hey, I just told you our weather is bipolar. Sometimes our hoopers are bipolar too, bro. I mean, I'm sorry. As much as I love them,
AD makes the series between the two unfair. If you bring LeBron and AD versus what Golden State has, if AD plays how he should, it shouldn't be a 7-game series. You know, they should be winning outright.
Yeah.
Because they don't have an answer for AD, but AD likes to. I don't know. I don't know how you explain it.
Dude. He just dominated yesterday. He dominated.
I don't explain how he can be like that and then be so injury prone or just have games where you just out there, you know.
Man, I understand, bro. I
Reminds me
understand.
of Zach LaVine, man. Great top 5 NBA talent.
Yeah, but I had a great weekend left. Not only that, Saturday night, I don't know if you saw it, but I watched Chris Rock's special live on Netflix.
That's right. Did you catch it live? Like, cause you know he was counting down.
No, I caught it live, and then I caught the post show. They had a post show.
Oh,
after the show, yeah, it was like Dana Carvey, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, JB Smooth, Yvonne Orji, Arsenio Hall. Yeah, it was like a 20-minute post show where they talked about, you know, all the jokes. You know, I thought, look, man, I don't take myself, nor do I take life too serious. So when a comedian is broaching a subject that others might deem sensitive, I'm not one of those that's like, ooh.
You take it with a grain of salt.
Let me see how creative this individual is.
Maybe it's funny.
With this subject. It was some funny stuff, bro. Like, I'm sorry. The Meghan Markle stuff was hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious, bro. Hilarious. Because he made
it OG racist.
Yeah, because once you know, the microscope, the media blows it up to be something much bigger. And it really is normal, everyday stuff. It's really like what she went through really is normal, everyday stuff. And it deals with our society, you know, prejudging, having preferences, and just overall, it's tough to impress the in-laws, bro. In general. It's tough impressing the in-laws. And like he said, in general. And he was like, yo, how did you not know? Did you not Google the history of the royal family? Like, what did you expect?
She didn't do a research, man. She didn't do a research.
Oh, it was fantastic. And then, of course, the way he ended it, you knew he had a counterpunch for Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith. You knew he did.
It took about 3 months to think about it.
He did. Yeah.
He didn't do no interviews and nothing. But the thing is, you know, it's hard to beat somebody that can get on the internet every day or get on the mic every day.
Get on the stage, yeah.
Be like us and be a journalist on YouTube every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's hard to beat that because the internet wins. Sometimes you gotta roll with it, and you know, hopefully Will doesn't respond. Or if he does, I mean, this seems like a great comedic beef for the near future.
It would be cool if he had an IG post being sarcastic.
Yeah,
taking it in good fun.
Just take it in good fun. That's
that would be dope. That would be dope. You would feel like, okay, everything is kind of squashed. You know, he got his lick back, and everything moves on. I would love that. I don't think that's coming because he used a certain word to describe his wife.
Yeah,
that might have heightened things, but
might have made it worse.
It might have made it worse. I definitely would have felt a little bit uncomfortable if I was watching it. And even if they didn't watch it, they're going to hear about it. Their children are going to, it's everywhere on social media. Clips, everything. So once again, great weekend. I was supposed to go see Creed 3. I didn't get a chance to go see it.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to go see it. I went
and saw NBA games, man.
Yeah, I went and saw Justin Scott Friday night. He is one game. They play tonight in a super sectional against Grays Lake. And my man might be going back downstate in basketball. So And I checked him out a little bit Friday night. But other than that, it was a great weekend, left. It really was. It was a great weekend. Sundays are always good, man, because most of my Sundays are church and family. Mom's made the oxtails yesterday, bro.
Mm, I don't
I,
know about oxtails, but
what?
man, oxtails
Left,
are not healthy for you, man.
dude. Now
It's like
you trying to sit up and act like I've seen the recipes you post online, bro. You do not eat clean. Stop. Stop.
there's a lot of health concerns with oxtails, man.
Okay. There's a lot of health concerns with the recipes you post as well.
It's all in moderation.
Lucky Lefty podcast. So let's start with the NFL Combine. Notre Dame was represented. You had Michael Mayer. You had Jared Patterson. You had Brandon Joseph. And you had Isaiah Foskey. Um, we touched on the things Isaiah Foskey said when he met with the media and how he spoke about Jordan Botelho being the next one in line at Notre Dame as a pass rusher. Isaiah Foskey then went out and put in work as we expected him. The buzz coming out of it is he has a chance to get into the back end of the first round, depending upon the team. But then again, more than likely he's a second day pick right now. I don't think he exceeded expectations. I think most people expected him to be athletic, 260, 4'6". He did what we expected to do.
Right.
So uh, Michael Mayer did the exact same thing.
Mm.
Exact same. Let me tell you something, man. Michael Mayer has some really quick feet when it comes to him and getting out of his breaks. That's the one thing I saw in the field drills that, maybe you don't get a chance to really see, but you get into the field drills, it's like, okay, he
Yeah,
showed that.
I think with the tight ends, especially because I saw some guys that look pretty good, like the tight end from Utah. I didn't really know too much about him before the combine, but man, he looked pretty smooth too. So I really think tight
Mhm.
ends, especially how combine training is these days, everybody looks pretty dang good in shirts and shorts. Like Michael Mayer didn't look like the smoothest, most athletic tight end in the draft. I mean, look, they had Darnell Washington's big self out there at 6'7", feel like 300. He's huge. So, you definitely got to dig into the game tape on these tight ends, especially when it comes to being a passer, a pass blocker, a run blocker, or a pass catcher. I think for Michael Mayer, his tape has shown enough to put him in good conversations as the first, top two or three tight ends taken. Um, but the combine definitely gave way to guys that were like tweeners, guys that are still has some scouting out on them. But I do think that because of Michael Mayer's tape, he put some stuff in the standalone conversation. But if you're going off of that combine, everybody looked pretty damn good. Oh, I think on mute. The combine training is pretty spectacular too. I mean, you seeing guys get faster every year, seeing a D lineman run a 4.4,
Mhm.
it's pretty crazy. Now for Nolan Smith, he's more linebacker, he'll drop in the coverage and stuff. So I kind of expect him to be pretty fast. But the Tennessee lineman running a 4.4, I'm like, playing in the game today is crazy.
It's crazy because we all know that the combine should be taken in moderation, right? The
Yes.
combine should be used to confirm what the film says, right? It should confirm what the film says. And there's certain situations where you can have a workout warrior at the combine, and I don't know how much stock you can really put into it. I think the combine confirmed Isaiah Foskey. I think it confirmed Michael Mayer. I think Jared Patterson had the best for me. Jared Patterson had the most to prove, in my opinion.
Yes.
Jared
Just
Patterson had the most to prove.
Well,
And
him and Brandon Joseph, but
Man,
you
dude.
know, whatever.
Do we really even claim that dude, man?
Yeah, do we claim Brandon Joseph? I don't think we even claim Brandon Joseph. Yeah.
He got his bachelor's from Northwestern, right? We don't claim that dude, man.
We
We
claim
don't
Jack
claim that
Cohn,
dude.
though. We claiming that.
Yeah, we do. We claim Jack Cohn.
Even
for
on
sure.
XFL, they say that Notre Dame first. Then they say Wisconsin. Because they know that Notre Dame.
That's funny. How do we go about what's the requirements to claim grad transfers? What's the requirement, LL Nation? What's the requirement to claim grad transfers? Let us know in the chat. Lefty podcast. And 16, yeah, 16 can keep that purple on, bro. Keep that purple on.
He's still a wildcat. Kane Madden still a herd.
Right.
You know.
Take that 4.65 speed.
Yeah.
And stay up there. Let's go.
Stay at Evanston.
I thought Jared Patterson did a really good job. I think Jared Patterson, we talked to Robert Hainsey last year, and I think Jared Patterson is going to find himself in a position where he's going to be versatile and he's going to be able to play every position on the line. Right? I think his biggest strength is going to be guard to guard in the NFL. And if you can play center, which he can, man, you're invaluable in the NFL. Invaluable. So he's just one of those players. I think he proved his footwork, his leveraging, the field drills, ran a good 40, kind of confirmed what people thought he was athletically. He's going to be invaluable. And look, we say it all the time. Notre Dame players end up being much better in the pros. Somehow they get to the pros and they elevate, right? They're not like Alabama offensive linemen. They get drafted high and then just somehow just flop.
I think our linemen specifically that he stand kicks in, and that training carries over to what they can take and learn and work on themselves after they leave he stand. Whereas Alabama, you know, you're built off of physically being and superior than all your other competition. So you lifting and eating right and doing, you know, you have all the resources in the world at Alabama, I'm assuming. So there's different things that make you a great player for that time span. But Alabama players in general, you know, that carry over to the NFL is not too many that have this success that we have. So I think as a technique, especially O-lineman wise, you get to see future Hall of Famers like Zach Martin and Q Nelson and Ronnie going in there, handling their business. You can tell that the coaching development that we had at Notre Dame is far superior and needs a lot more credit than it has been getting in the past few years.
Man, you can say that 10 times over, and it's been proven. And Robert Hainsey talked about it when we talked to him last week. It means something. Like he talked about going through his first training camp and pretty much saying, man, I suck. But it was the words of Harry Heastand that stayed with him and got him through with some other mentors like AQ Shipley and some AO Shipley and other guys. They got him through. So it's really a legacy that Notre Dame continues to build upon. As you see, that's our producer right there, Lil Left.
He's saying it's your
sometimes he likes to be on camera. Lucky Lefty podcast.
Charlie Jones were in a 4-4-3.
I was just about to say this was the funniest, man. I was watching this, and when he ran it, I said, "Freaking Charlie Jones! Freaking Charlie Jones!
Go away!
Freaking Charlie Jones!" Man.
We're gonna see you flashing that third, fourth round or something, going to a nice team.
But you know what? Charlie Jones is gonna make it in the league, bro.
Oh hell yeah!
He's gonna make it in the league.
Hunter Winfrey.
He's going to make it in the league.
Yeah, he definitely got the right grad transfer.
Yeah,
he transferred to the right place, and you know, so.
Absolutely. Now, I will like to say this. Can I give a PSA for the city of Chicago? Can I do this? The city of Chicago and all Chicago Bears fans would like to thank C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson, and Will Levis for making the quarterbacks hot and making our first pick even hotter. We appreciate you. From the Chicago Bears fan base, we thank you for the performance that you put on Saturday
How hot could
at
it
the
have been?
NFL Combine. Ryan Poles said he walked away from the Combine with 3 trade offers where he gets a first this year and a first in 24. That's amazing, boy. That's amazing, boy. Bears fans should be shouting all over the place. You should be running through the aisles at your job right now. It's okay. Go ahead and take a praise break, Bears fans. Go ahead and take a praise break. Go ahead. Go ahead. I wish I had an organ right now. Go ahead.
Who offered them that much? For what quarterback?
Yo, this is on the Peter King's podcast. Ryan Poles said he has already. We're not even close. We're still like a month and days away. He already has 3 offers with a first and 23 and a first and 24. Coach Vic, yes, he is. All the time. All the time, Coach Vic. All the time. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm just saying, Left. It was beautiful to watch. With each throw that C.J. Stroud made, I was saying, get closer to Bryce Young. Make it closer. Make teams think. Be natural. Get Anthony Richardson. Oh, run that 4-4. What? 40-inch vert? Oh, my God. If they can fall in love with Miss Trubisky, I know they can fall in love with you. This is amazing. This is absolutely amazing football. Chicago Bears fans all over the world were just straight hands in the air left saying thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is turning out to be absolutely amazing.
But y'all pick just like Baltimore picks receivers, so y'all know how to ruin a draft for sure.
Left, you didn't have to say that, man. You didn't have to say that. So you didn't have to. You didn't have to say that. You didn't have to say that. You didn't have to say that. You didn't have to say that, Left. We pick quarterbacks like Baltimore picks receivers, except as long as Justin Fields works on that accuracy, like they told him at the gas station.
At the gas station,
like they told him at the gas station. As long as you work on that accuracy, as long as you work on that accuracy, we all good, man.
He heard it at the local grocery store.
As long as you take care of it, it's all good. But we thank you, NFL, because you put on an absolute show and showed the quarterbacks in a way that needed to be done for the Bears to capitalize on this number 1 overall pick. My. Anybody else stand out to you?
Oh man, I really like the combine because I get to confirm a lot of what they try to make of some guys. I do realize that it's getting faster and faster, so that's cool to see. The quarterbacks, I think this group is a lot better than what people give the credit for. I think next year will be a little better. But it'd be interesting to see what happens with the Anthony Richardson hype train. I just think nowadays the league's is too pass heavy, man. And if you want to win championships, so hopefully he can develop that aspect in the right system. If he don't go to the right place, I think it's just gonna be hard for him.
My man needs to do some yoga, bro. That dude, he's too tight.
He is
too tight to be a quarterback. He needs to talk to Tom Brady, become pliable.
Yeah,
like. He's just too tight, man. And I think that affects him and his touch with him being so tight. Now, man, his deep ball is one of the most beautiful deep balls I've ever seen. He threw the ball 70 yards effortless. It was effortless.
No, for real.
It was effortless. Like
that's because he's stronger than everybody there. I mean, he's definitely got a bigger cannon than Will Levis. So I don't know why Will Levis.
Man, you know what? Hey, you and Anthony, y'all got to relax. We cannot let this type of stuff get out. Will Levis was absolutely amazing Saturday. He was amazing. NFL teams, he was absolutely amazing. Big arm. He can run. He can move in the pocket. He's tough. He can take the hits. He can stick the throws in the face of a pass rush. He's absolutely amazing. Don't watch the film. Definitely not from this year. Go to 2022.
Jeez.
He was amazing. Don't believe what Anthony O and Malik are saying. He's amazing.
Oh my goodness! I hope
we will not take bad propaganda that harms the number one pick on the Lucky Lefty podcast. We won't receive it. We will not receive it.
All right, don't drop the ball now. Y'all get to the race. Don't run through the finish line.
Oh man, Lucky Lefty podcast. Can I give you my top performers? It's just me. I'm gonna get a special shout out, of course, but the number one performer for me left was CJ Stroud, man. CJ Stroud wrote just purely as a passer. When you watch him pass, he throws a beautiful ball, man.
Yeah, the man looks good. Yeah,
just everything about him from the time he gets the ball. Man, how will he adjust to being under center? We'll see. I think he's very advanced in like the passing game, so I don't think the board and defense is up. He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
I have one big problem with him.
What?
You couldn't beat Michigan, bro. Like, what happened against Michigan?
Well, I would put.
Okay, you had the one game against Georgia. I got it.
But he put the same type of numbers in both Michigan losses that he put up in Georgia. So
I think he did beat Michigan. No, he did not. I take that back. He did not beat Michigan. So
in 2 years.
Only played him 2 years. Left. I have to go back and look at those games. Because I'll venture to say that Michigan had a better secondary, which was confirmed by the combine. You look at DJ Turner and what he ran.
Ran like a 4-2.
I told you DJ Turner was going to run fast at the end of the year. I told you that.
He's fast as hell. I didn't even know that.
And I told you they had a freshman that started towards the end of the year. He's going to be fantastic in a couple of years as well at the combine.
Yeah, Michigan pulling off 4-2 guys. They doing a job.
Man, you get a 4-2 guy, you can go man to man. I think that's Mike Mickens is building towards that as well, right? He's building towards that with the cornerback.
And to see us as a man team would be pretty crazy.
Man, to see Notre Dame as a man-to-man team.
We tried it in 15. Hell, we tried it in 12.
I don't know what that was Brian Van Gorder was trying. He had cornerbacks making checks and audibles. I've never heard of anything like that in my life.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Man, Lucky Lefty podcast. Anthony Richardson is second on my list. I know I can't take anything from what he showed on Saturday.
If Anthony Richardson is on your list at 2, then it has to be Will Levis at 3 or 4. Because he went 6-6.
Will Levis, for the sake of Bears propaganda for the number one pick, he is on my list. He is on my list. You are correct. For the sake of Bears propaganda, he's on my list. You are right, Lev. No. My true feelings about Will Levis would never be discovered. Never.
Until after the first round.
There you go. After the trade is announced.
Yeah,
look. Anthony Richardson, nothing about what he did from a measurable translates to playing quarterback in the NFL.
No, unfortunately not.
Nothing. But you can't sit here and tell me, like, people want to complain about what he did. He's getting tested. What do you expect him to do?
Yeah.
If he's running the 40, he should run what he runs.
Yeah.
If he's testing his vert, he should jump what he can jump. He should broad jump what he can do. People are like mad that he went out and tested well. That's who he is. He's
Yes,
putting his best foot forward to get noticed and to bring attention of the teams that are quarterback needy, which 5 of them are in the top 10, upon him. Can't be mad about that.
Can't be mad about that.
Man, great job, young man. But you have to do something about that 54% completion percentage. I know that.
Well, if he goes to Seattle, he won't have to worry about it because they're gonna run the ball.
And he gets to sit behind Geno, who by all man, I'm telling you, Geno is known across, maybe not when he came into the NFL, but Geno Smith has become one of the most well-liked players in the NFL.
Really?
He really has.
That's a
Absolutely.
complete
It's a
180.
complete switch. Complete 180 from when he came into the NFL. Absolutely. Absolutely. You
So
talk to people.
they like him in Seattle pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a good place for him to land. Good place for him to go. Nolan Smith from Georgia.
Oh yeah.
My man.
He on the petty train too, but yeah, we get it.
Yeah, oh man, he's definitely on the petty train, the lifelong petty train.
I ain't run my fastest.
We do the more with less at Georgia. Man, shut up.
Yeah.
They said we were 7-5 at the beginning. Man, shut up.
Who is over there writing down there on these articles that these lies? They just straight up lies.
But 4.39, 41-inch vertical.
Yeah, he's a freak.
This man is 239.
Wait, how tall is he? Like 6'3"?
6'2". Yeah, bring him to Chicago. Come on.
Over Will Anderson?
Dude, I'm getting greedy. I want to trade back and get like 5 number 1 picks, dude. Like,
oh, you want the king community.
The trade back like 4 number 1 picks and get all of the top guys in on defense. Oh man.
And then get a fantastic trade or something.
Yes. Coming in at number 4 for me, Jackson Smith and Jigba. Let me tell you something, bro. He didn't run the 40. Still, I'm still worried about the fact that he's recovering from a hamstring.
Yeah,
getting back to the Notre Dame game, that's kind of troubling that he didn't run the 40. He's going to run it at his pro day at Ohio State. But I will say this: the route running and the cone drills and the quickness, confirmed.
Yeah, he does.
Confirmed. Like, hey, I got you. Coming in number 5 for me, Bijan Robinson. Brother,
ooh,
let me tell you something.
Ooh.
That's another one.
Yeah,
that can come on to Chicago.
I mean,
people are talking about spending
drills.
He was just, and that's a new drill for the running backs. I like that because it really does show that footwork.
With the 3 bags or the one they got to step over.
Yeah,
that's a good drill.
That's a good drill. I love that drill. Very nice. 4.4, and he coasted to a 4.4. He wasn't even running hard. He just coasted to a 4.4.
I love the ones that don't look like they're running hard and run something crazy.
Man, on the field drills, pure hand catcher. The dude, he's just a dude, man. He's a dude. And from what I'm hearing, he's going to be taken into teams. Like, teams are falling in love with him. And a lot of teams consider him one of the top 3 players in the draft, period. He just happens to be at that position that's not valued in today's NFL. But he put on a show. I want to give love to the Northwestern Wildcats because Adetomiwa Adebawori, edge rusher for Northwestern, man, he ran a 4.49 at 282 pounds. He might be on the Trayvon Walker, who ended up being the number 1 overall pick by the Jaguars. He might be on that type of track. Possibly, definitely not being the number 1 pick, but he definitely solidified that he should fall in the first round at some point. That's absolutely amazing. I didn't know they had athletes like that in Northwestern. 282 pounds running 4.49. But that film, though, that film is going to be interesting. That film is going to be very interesting for me. Darnell Washington.
I think the Bijan thing too would be great for a Dallas fit. You know, Tony Pollard just got the franchise tag. I'm sure they probably want to move on
Don't
from
do that. Don't do that. Don't make me smile, left. Don't do that. Don't do that. You do that. You're doing it. You're trolling right now.
trolling. That'd be a
You're
great
trolling
pickup.
right now. You're trolling right now.
That'd be a great pickup.
I see what you're doing. You're trolling right now, left. Don't do that.
But you know what's always crazy about the draft? No matter how much we think we know, we get into that first, second round, it'd be people picked that I'm like, really? Where'd that come from?
Absolutely.
I think last year was probably the worst year for trying to predict the outcome of the first round, just because you're like, they were taking players from all over the place for the first round. And I think that a lot of that just becomes conjecture, you know, because they put so much energy into breaking down the littlest things that they think they find in diamonds in the rough, from coastal Carolina, some of these crazy places. But, you know, I think when the film is the film, the guys you hear about during the year are pretty much the guys the whole time.
Yeah.
I think when you're recruiting, if you just want athletes, I just think that's a whole nother way of recruiting if you want a football team.
Lucky Lefty Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, CFB Nation in conjunction with Irish Breakdown, all of our great content. We are the home of the misguided passion. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit that like button. We appreciate you guys. All of your comments. Somebody thought we were being like extra serious with the whole apology bit on Friday. It was funny talking to them after the show left. They were like, Shaun, you need to apologize to Left. You shouldn't have done that to him. I'm like, whoa, relax.
That's good. Trust me,
Like, wait a minute. We're having fun only the way the Lucky Lefty Podcast has fun on our show. But we thank everybody for tapping in. I have one more because I'm doing my top 8. Darnell Washington, and then bringing up the rear. Yo, I didn't see this, but Deontay Banks, the defensive back from Maryland.
Oh yeah, he had a good run at the 42.
Yo, him and Christian Gonzalez. Christian Gonzalez had a 41.5-inch vertical, an 11-1 broad jump, running 4.38. At cornerback, I'll take that. And then Deontay Banks said, hold my beer, 4.35, 11-4 broad jump, and a 42-inch vertical. Those two gentlemen made a lot of money, in my opinion. They made a lot of money, in my opinion. So that's NFL Combine. When we come back left, I'm going to delve into tradition. Alumni at Notre Dame versus Subway alumni and Notre Dame fans. It's the Lucky Lefty Podcast. We spin it different. Left, over everything that's happened recently, it's a lot to be said. People have fallen on either side of the coin, or they back the reports that were out there, the concerning reports that were out there about the way things were handled, about that being a national search and ending up with the offensive coordinator they ended up with. However you feel about it. I'm just saying there were two sides to the coin. You had the email Jack Swarbrick sent out, and the reaction from Notre Dame fans. And then you had fans that reacted and supported Jack Swarbrick and swore that Notre Dame has told the truth about everything throughout this entire situation. Well, we discussed it, but there was an interesting conversation brought to the forefront by Josh Pate, late kick with Josh Pate. And he talked about Notre Dame, and he talked about, the alumni versus the actual Notre Dame fan. Very interesting. Let's check it out, Left, and then we'll talk about what we think about it.
Indy said, Late Kick Faithful here. Thoughts on the state of Notre Dame football? You had the Gerard Parker internal hire. Matt Luke turns down the O-line job. It's not the only job Matt Luke's turned down. I just don't think he wants to get back in it right now. So that's not a shot at Notre Dame. Also, he said, future as an independent with all the conference realignment. What's going to happen? There's been some criticism as of late with the way that Notre Dame as a whole, as an entity, hired the Andy Ludwig offensive coordinator coaching search thing, and eventually it turns out that the athletic director, Jack Swarbrick, has to write you a letter. Yes, that happened. He famously quoted Terrence Mann, who is the character James Earl Jones plays in Field of Dreams, and he told you that he appreciates your passion. Misdirected though it may be, it is still a passion. That's what he tried to tell you. I laughed, you laughed, everyone laughed but Jack Swarbrick. He looked around and said, what's everyone laughing about? Ivory Tower syndrome. So, we still didn't really get to the bottom of it. We still really don't know what happened there. A lot of people think they know. So this is once again where we apply that skill that is so rare this day and age. Just say, I don't know. I don't know because Marcus Freeman has not spoken his mind on that. And if he's a good soldier, he probably realizes this is not a hill worth dying on. I had to elevate my tight ends coach in a search that we once upon a time called a national search, which is usually an indication that that wasn't plan A, B, C, or D, but be that as it may, he elevated who he elevated. There is a big debate that happens all the time in Notre Dame circles, and it sounds a little something like this. Notre Dame alumni think that Notre Dame is a university with a football program attached to it. Subway alumni, as they would call them, I just saw this over on Irish Illustrated the other day. That's our 24/7 Notre Dame board. Subway alumni, in other words, those who didn't go to Notre Dame, but they root for Notre Dame, they would call Notre Dame a football program with a university attached to it. And then they clash. And then some alumni would say, that is a bastardization at best of how we feel. And the Subway alumni would say, do you realize how much money you make off of us? Everyone's right. And so therefore, I'm not hating on you. I'm just saying, when you tell me, which some of you do, that you're not interested in being Alabama, I listen to you. And I don't have a problem with it. You run your program and university the way you want to run it. I just come back when you get mad that there are budgetary limitations. Marcus Freeman gets told no on something Nick Saban doesn't get told no on because there's no one there to tell Nick Saban no. And you get mad about it. I always look and I say, weren't you the same person who told me you don't want to be Alabama? See, the argument would go something like this. For the crowd that thinks Notre Dame is a university with an athletic appendage attached to it, they would say, we're not going to do it like the big boys do down south. That way, yeah, it'll be frustrating and aggravating and the wins will be fewer and further between, but if we ever get one, it'll make it all the more sweeter because we did it the right way, the Notre Dame way. I don't say this mockingly. I'm going to tell you for the third time. Thrice, I've told you. You do things the way you want to do things. I have full respect for it. But when we get into these kinds of conversations, that's what I remember. So should I expect Notre Dame to be as aggressive as an LSU would have been there or as an Oklahoma would have been? I don't expect that. Until further notice, I don't expect that. And as Bruce Hornsby would say, that's just the way it is. I still think they can win. I just think they have to thread the needle a little bit more. I remember when we had Brian Kelly on the show last year or 2 years ago. He was the head coach at Notre Dame at the time, so it was 2 years ago. He said, candidly, I know going into a recruiting cycle, there are kids I don't even waste my time on, that the Georgias and Floridas of the world are fighting tooth and nail against for. That's a different set of circumstances. We've always known that, but it stands to be reiterated in arguments like this. So Notre Dame, look, I think that they finished the season really strong last year. I think the world of Marcus Freeman as a person. I don't think that I'm the best qualified to gauge whether he'll be successful as a coach, only because I think there's a lot outside of his control that will factor into that. That's really what it boils down to. There are just more external factors out of Marcus Freeman's control that are going to determine his fate than maybe someone at one of those programs down south. So if that's palatable for you, go Irish.
Guys, thanks.
There you have it. Look, I know you got tired of us talking about it.
Definitely acknowledge the limiting factors Marcus Freeman is dealing with, and understanding those, you really see the difference of why it's a limiting factor in winning a championship. Recruiting is a very, very huge part of college football success. And in doing so, the recruiting battle of a kid that's super talented, there are chances that there are other limiting things about the player that may not be a Notre Dame standard. But there's also things about players that may not be a lot of different school standards. But when you're recruiting them for a specific purpose that can benefit not only the program, but indirectly the school itself. I think Notre Dame has gotten very comfortable with the business model of things instead of the winning and competitive edge with things. Sort of similar to how the Dallas Cowboys are very comfortable getting close in no cigar, very comfortable being close to a championship, but not actually gaining a championship. A lot of it is because they're the number one brand in sports, regardless of a Super Bowl. And one thing about Notre Dame that we all know is that green ain't always for Irish when it comes first. So if they can continue to make $1 million off the bookstore every home game and be an 8-8 team 1 year, a 9-win team 1 year, a 10-win team 1 year, and an 8-win team, and they still making $1 million off that bookstore, that's the win. That's the championship. The winning is the sauce on top, the whipped cream in between. Everybody knows the best part of the Oreo cookie is not the center part. It's the cookie. Everybody knows.
Whoa.
Everybody knows that.
Whoa. We'll discuss that later. Go ahead.
So, because of that, we have sacrificed a lot of what other teams would sacrifice to win for the dollar. So I'm gonna put it on the dollar because I don't want to take it deeper than that.
So, can I tell you what stood out for me? People are already responding to your, the cream not being the best part of the
It's
Oreo
not.
cookie. You're bugging, bro. Yeah, you're tripping.
Don't tell me you get the Oreos for the center.
The only the what is that? The golden Oreos
Gold
are better.
Oreos, okay.
Yeah. Now I'll rock with that cookie. But as far as the original Oreo, come on, bro. You open it up, and the first thing you do is you eat the creamy filling.
First thing you do is scrape it off with the other side of the cookie. Why do you think they give you 2 cookies and 1 cream?
So the cream can be in the middle.
No.
If you only have 1 cookie, you can't exactly market the creamy middle.
The cream is to the glue to the success on both sides. You need that cookie.
Okay, now you like the Twix, right?
See,
like the left factory does it this way, the right factory does it that way.
Twix is different because they put what you want on the outside, which is that chocolate and caramel. That's what you get the Twix for. The cookie is that surprise.
See, Shamrock and Shenanigans said it perfectly. That's why we buy the double stuff.
Because they didn't sell it for the cream. You got to buy double stuff because then you get the cream. You see what I'm saying?
Dude.
Why do you think they got Oreo Thins and that's the most popular Oreo? I have some Oreo Thins right now.
Dude, Oreos are all about the same thing Wu-Tang is about. Cream. Cream gets the money. Cream gets the money.
Yeah, I hear that.
Dollar bill.
People don't get vanilla shakes no more. They get
that
cream.
Unless you're talking about the penny cookies. The strawberry joints or the lemon joints. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Used to go to the corner stores of Shorty.
Yeah.
They had the little penny cookies, boy, the little strawberry frost. Come on. LL Nation, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. There's no cream filling needed at all.
That's
Let
right.
me get 15 of those and 15 of those. Best cookies ever. Ever. Lucky Lefty podcast. So let me tell you what stood out. And what Josh Pay said. I'm not here to debate. I'm done debating that whole which side of the coin to fall on with what happened. I'm done. Number one, he said Marcus Freeman has not yet spoken his mind on everything.
He can't.
And if he's a good soldier, he recognizes that this is a hill he should not die on. See what I'm saying? I'm glad somebody else from outside the program, right? Because everybody was like, Marcus Freeman told you the truth. He told you the truth. Man.
He can't die on that. He shouldn't die on that hill.
No. Why? No. Not at all.
It's going to, like we said yesterday, it's going to take somebody within the team to decide they want to win a championship, because it's not going to come from the coaches or the administration. It's going to have to be an extravagant effort from the team, where we get one of them years, where we get one of them players that is the face of college football.
Yeah.
We need a Michael Mayer in a different position. If we had a Michael Mayer at quarterback, we could win a championship. But if it comes down to us having we're the type to give you the 75-inch TV for free without the power cord.
You know what we did, bro? Let me tell you what Sam Hartman is. Let's say you and your brother were in the family business, and your brother was incarcerated for whatever reason. And when he's incarcerated, you, as his brother, you go to console his girl. And you end up marrying his girl. You couldn't get your own. And see, that's Notre Dame, right? Because we've been begging for a quarterback, left. And we can't get our own. We can't recruit our own. We can't develop our own. But we Jones over somebody else. We have Wake Forest quarterback, bro. That's not our quarterback. That's their quarterback.
And Wake Forest had that.
And we're sitting here going bonkers.
Crazy.
Over somebody else's girl. Ready to put a ring on it. Ready to put a ring on it, left.
Ready to sign a dotted line.
Ready to claim her and shoot the club up. Ready to claim her and shoot the club up. And have offspring left. Ready to build a family. And she don't even love us like that. It's a business relationship. Sam Hartman came here to improve his NFL stock. He don't love Notre Dame like that. We don't keep it a buck. It's a very good business situation for Sam Hartman to come to Notre Dame. But we're sitting here loving him like he chose us. Like he came to us and said, man, you're the place I want to be. I want to spend the rest of my college years with you.
Sam Hartman we're the boyfriend that Sam Hartman is making his other girl jealous with. We making Sam Hartman look like the man to Wake Forest. Like, hey, we had that. Damn, that's like Rihanna, right? Rihanna going from a scrub and dating up, and then they be looking like, dang, you could get that. We're not winning from the situation. Sam Hartman's winning from the situation.
Yo, it's not the same. If Sam Hartman ends up in New York, people, you can disagree with me. It won't be the same. It's not the same as Bryce Young ended up in New York. It's not the same as CJ Stroud ended up
No,
in New York.
it's not
It's not the
as
same as Deshaun and Trevor Lawrence ended up in New York. It's not the same. That's not our girl.
It's not our girl. We
She's
damn
not
near.
ours.
He might go up there if he won the Heisman this year. He might go up there and talk about Wake Forest.
He's definitely going to talk about Wake Forest. He's definitely going to thank the coaching staff and the fans, without question, as he should. If he goes into the College Hall of Fame one day, he should go in wearing a Wake Forest helmet, without question. What are we talking about, man? This is why I love what Josh Pace said, man. What are the expectations, dude? Because you can't have it both ways.
He's only claimed
can't-
it with the championship.
You can't have it both ways.
Can't have both ways.
You can't want tradition and the education to be first and then complain about Jack Swarbrick. You can't do that. You can't. You can't say we don't want to be Alabama, but then complain about Jack Swarbrick's letter. It's this or that.
Is this or that?
It's this or that. And honestly, whether you're an alum, a Subway alum, or just a fan, excellence should be number one for education and football at Notre Dame. Number one. It can work. It can work. It works for Duke in basketball. Does it not?
Does it not?
Does it not work for Duke in basketball? Why can't it work for Notre Dame in football? Why not? Why not? I'm waiting. Tell me why it can't work. Is Duke not known as one of the top educational institutions in the country? Is it not? Is it not one of the top private institutions educationally, academically? Is it not?
You damn near think of Duke basketball before you think of anything academic. They call their fans the crazies. What do they call Notre Dame fans?
Maybe you need to get a Chicago guy at Notre Dame. Maybe you need a Chicago guy to come in as a coach at Notre Dame. Maybe that's what's needed, left. Right? Because you know what Coach K did when he left? You know who his successor is? Another Chicago dude. Out of all the great players he's had, all the assistants that he's had at Duke, you know who he turned it over to? Another Chicago dude. Maybe that's what's needed. Maybe you need a Chicago dude at Notre Dame in some capacity to show you how it can be done academically and athletically at the top in excellence. I don't understand.
Well, maybe
What if Coach K said we're not going to do it like North Carolina? We're not going to do it like Gonzaga. We're not going to do it like Indiana. We're not going to do it like Michigan. We're not going to do it like all of the Big East teams, all the Big East powers. We're not going to do it like them. We're going to do it the Duke way and win national championships.
Mm. They want to make Marcus Freeman like Mike Bray. Just be there for a long time.
Don't do that. Don't do that to him.
Take up the tradition.
Don't do that to him.
Be the winningest coach of all time.
Don't do that.
So where does Mike Bray compare to Muffet McGraw in the spectrum of great Notre Dame coaches? Because the difference would be what? Championships? That's it? 2 championships? Is that the difference? Because Mike Bray's been hurting on recruiting for a long time.
Ever since he had that special group
with Jaron,
with Jaron and that crew,
Jaron, and then
and Pat Connaughton and that crew,
and that's it. But Pat Connaughton wasn't a number one player in the country. It was one of those things where that team those years, Zach August and all those boys, really were special enough to get over that obstacle of we're not going to give you the top of the top. We're going to give you the best. We ain't going to give you the top of the top.
Right.
Of what it takes to win a championship. But those group of guys, though, during that time were top of the top where they play was and their production was. And we had a chance. We're going to need our players on the football team to be a little bit better than advertised if we want to see Marcus Freeman get a championship, because we're not getting a Nolan Smith. We're not. We're going to get an Isaiah Fauske. And the difference between an Isaiah Fauske and a Nolan Smith, they're both great players. But one is different than the other player. They might both be 5 stars coming out of high school, but they're different players. Isaiah Foske's going to give you an all-time sack leader, but Nolan Smith's going to give you a championship.
Man, look.
And that's the difference.
And what makes it so crazy, Left, people, it's still going over people's. I see the conversation is going over the heads of some people. There's people talking about, bringing basketball is easier. Dude, investment and excellence has zero to do with how many players on the roster. Your athletic director flat out told you in an email, we're unwilling to invest in excellence in football. That's what he said. That's what he told the fan base. I don't care if you're an alumni. I don't care if you're Subway alumni. I don't care if you're a Notre Dame fan. You should be infuriated by that. Period. You should be infuriated. I don't care if you want education first. I don't care if you want athletics first.
National championship was third on the list.
Third.
When addressing the football program.
Third.
It was third. And the other two were not even tangible things. They're not even things you can obtain as on a goal list. Those other two things were moral compass deciding factors. Like, we're a good steward. And what was the second one? Something non-related to football. Both of the top two things were non-related to football. It was like a character thing. And then the third was championship. Now, how do you ever get the championship if you're always on the moral compass of things? On your own moral compass, because you're calling yourself a good steward by not investing to a championship for whatever reason. I don't know how to even, the two are on the same level.
So, once again, it is absolutely foolish to sit up here and defend as a fan in any way, shape, or form because we're all the same. I don't care if you're an alum. I don't care if it's we're the same. We're the fans. We all get cheated. We're getting cheated. We're the same. We're the ones waiting 35 years for something to happen. And we want to sit up here and argue amongst ourselves like some goofies over what should be first. And we should be athletics. We should be academics first and then athletics. No, we should be athletics first and then academics. And we're the ones suffering while they make money. Ivory Tower syndrome. They make money and we argue amongst ourselves. It's the goofiest thing I've ever seen. It's goofy. And stop making excuses. Well, it's easier in football. It's easier in basketball. Duke didn't invest in their football program until Cutcliffe got there. They didn't.
They did.
But you know what? You know what Duke was? They were honest about it. See, I could rock with anyone that's honest about it.
They was
honest about it. David Cutcliffe made Duke invest in football. And ever since he's left, the program has been much better than it was before he got there. Period. If you invest, guess what happens? good things happen. Good things happen. So my disappointment, I moved on from the disappointment of the people in administration, all that. I'm upset with the fan base. Because we should all be upset about the same thing. And we're sitting up here trying to protect academics versus athletics and athletics versus academics. Suffering from the same symptoms. No championships. We all have the same symptoms as fans. No championships. None. But we want to sit here and argue across the room about the right way to do it. It's foolish. It's foolish. It's foolish.
Arguing about how to get, not about how to get it done, but what's the right or wrong way to go about it. Not about going about it to get it done, but is it right or is it wrong going about it? That's the craziest thing in the world.
Dude, I've never, man. Do you know how, dude, you know what it's likened unto? My daughter calling me. My daughter called me from Rolling Loud this weekend, Left. She called me from Rolling Loud. She said, Daddy, this is my first time going to a big concert like this. I did not know to be closer to the stage, I had to get VIP. This is how much VIP costs.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
You can send me the money.
On the spot. Like via Cash App, like real quick transaction. Like just send it, no questions asked. I'll explain later, kind of request.
And because I only get great seats when I go to concerts, there was no way I was going to allow my daughter to be in the mosh pit at a concert.
See?
So I invested in her experience. And I wish the people at the top of Notre Dame cared about those under them the same way I care about my daughter and her experience.
Because the concert not directly affecting you. So you don't have to get her out the mosh pit because she's at Rolling Loud. Do you know what I'm saying? Marcus Freeman, he can get to the playoffs. But are we going to be stuck in the mosh pit of being a 5th seed and then losing in the first, second round? Are we going to be in the mosh pit of being a 9-10 win team every year, but not jumping out of that? Spend a couple more dollars, get us in the nice section with this roped off, and see what we can do. You just saying because we in the arena, we should figure it out. It should be right there for us because we got the no. Do a little more.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. They literally have, I see this all the time. I saw it for 2 weeks when the mess was going on around, surrounding Notre Dame football. And I just stood back and watched fans argue against each other. And we're all suffering the same thing. We're all suffering the same thing. And they love to see us argue. They love arguing and debate. And they do nothing about it.
But drop a letter to make it more
That's
fair.
it. That's all they do. That's all they do.
Because either they're doing it on purpose or they're doing it because they're tone deaf. You know what you did. Why are you dropping a whole press release about it? Like we wasn't going. You made the moves, not expecting us to respond that way. What do you mean? The fan base wants a championship. The coach was a link to get closer to that. You literally blocked it, and then you expect us not to be upset. So you either tone deaf by writing a letter saying, "Listen, it's not what it's really about. We're good stewards. We don't believe in championships without good stewardship," which means good stewardship means we're being frugal, or it's something else. Please tell me it's just because y'all want to be cheap. Tell me it's because you want to be cheap, because then I can understand.
Left, you can talk to that. I'm done talking about that. I just want us to be unified as a fan base. That's it. Stop all this foolish arguing back and forth.
We can still be excellent and spend a couple more dollars on the football program. I don't understand how one has to suffer by just spending what we have. It's not like we don't have it and we got to pull away from academics and academia and prestige to get better in football. We don't have to do that. One doesn't have to suffer to increase the other side. When we have ample resources to do both, we're already increasing everything every year. Academics, we get a new building every year, a new course, a new resource. And in the football program, get what? Turf? That's all we can do, turf. A hot tub,
Man.
an indoor facility.
Sean Bronson Shenanigans says it perfectly. Academics is not at any sort of juxtaposition with football excellence. That's total BS and a narrative the administration loves to push. What did it amount to? Another Kelly Ian Swarbrick Ian excuse. Look, that's another thing. He flat out told you that Brian Kelly didn't even try to fight.
Kelly told you he didn't try.
And this goes back to what we said. I can understand not investing in a dude that openly said, I'm not even going to try to go up against Alabama and Georgia and the top dogs in recruiting. I'm not even going to try. I'm going to go play golf. I'm going to play golf. I understand you not fully getting behind that coach. But you have a coach that is full steam ahead for this university and this program.
Doing it for y'all. He don't want to. You think he taking them trips because he just want to take trips?
That's crazy.
Trips to win games for the university. And then the university does things like let them do all that hard work and then tell them we're not letting you get that coach. And then after that, cover our ass for not letting them get the coach and say you don't know what happened.
It's crazy. So that's the fan base. I'm talking about the fan base. Forget them. We have to be unified. Regardless of what side of the coin you're on, we got to be unified. If you rock with academics first, that's fine. That's like me saying, that's like me telling my kids at church, call me Mr. Davis. And then turning around in conversation with my friends later on at the house, that's fine. You can call me Shaun. I'm still Mr. Shaun Davis. I don't care my name has not changed. I just have a preference on who calls me what, right? That's it. If Notre Dame has a preference on how they're seen by the media and how they're seen by athletes and students or whomever, fine. If you want a certain group of people to call you an academic school, rock out. But do something so that these young men in high school can look at Notre Dame as an athletic institution that wins national championships. Because it can go both ways. And it should go both ways.
How long does a guy's motivation like Marcus Freeman stay around? Now
he's a motivated individual.
But after year two, knowing that, listen, you're not going to get the coaches you want.
He might be frustrated a little bit, maybe. But
if that record starts resulting in 9 and 10 and 8 win seasons, what are you going to do?
Man, FanDuel has us at 8.5 wins left. You putting your money up 8.5 left.
They got Colorado winning 6.
8.5. They had Notre Dame at 8.5 last year. So basically, FanDuel is looking at Sam Hartman saying that don't mean nothing. That don't mean a darn thing.
No,
Sam Hartman doesn't mean a darn thing.
Didn't make us one game better. And we said that though.
At all.
We said that. We said he doesn't make us one game better unless he fits into what we're trying to do better. So Sam Hartman becomes neutralized once Tommy leaves the place. Tommy was going to unlock more potential out of Sam than what Sam was getting at Wake Forest. Because if it wasn't for Tommy trying to do that, Sam might as well just stayed. He was the winningest and most successful quarterback in Wake Forest in a long time.
Gotta believe it. I'm not telling you to gamble your money, but I will put 20 down on the over. Because basically what they're saying is we're losing to Ohio State, USC, and Clemson. That's basically what they're saying. And then we're going to lose one more. to a team we
Then we're
should
gonna lose
to.
one more to some.
Right. We got another Stanford in this. That's what they're saying. They got another Stanford and Marshall in
Ooh, I
this
hope
year.
we don't have
That's
another.
what they got 2 more. They have 2 more in them. That's what they believe. That's what they believe. Vegas is telling you something with these win totals. They're like, yeah, they got
If
another
that's the
Stanford
case,
or
if that's
Marshall
the
in them.
case, then we should start Tyler Buckner and have Kenny Minchie ready to go by November. If we just gonna win 8 games and get because that means if we win 8 games, that means Tyler should transfer. Kenny Minchie should be playing, or Steve Angeli should be in the mix or something, or gone too.
Yeah.
Because that ain't making no sense now. If
So
we didn't
Brian,
get one game better, we had all these transfers and rehires and
man,
they're like, it didn't make no difference, Notre Dame. Y'all still an 8-win team.
I was shocked a little bit left. The numbers, heights, and weights for the early enrollees came out. Kenny Minchie is bigger than I thought he was.
No, he's big. I told you that. He bigger than Dante.
Yeah, he's like 6'2", 6'1", 6'2" with shoes on, 215 pounds.
Like he's like wider than I'm like, oh, you know.
He's probably gonna get up to 220 easy.
He looks like his hair was so big at the time, so it was maybe he's got a cut, so it looks a little different, but
yeah,
he really a solid dude.
Yeah,
like I wouldn't say he's a Anthony Richardson, but the man got size on him. I wouldn't say a Roethlisberger, but what's a step under Roethlisberger? Like a Jacoby Brissett. The man built like a Jacoby Brissett, just a real statured guy,
Yeah.
Not a freak athlete or nothing, he ain't a Tyrod Taylor where he got the 8-pack and all that. But you can't just push. He like not a Jason Campbell. Jason Campbell was big.
So this is where, and we are efforting to get this on Friday. On Friday, we're trying this, but we're putting it out there. And I'm setting this up because this is special. Well, I think I've told you this before, but this is special. Notre Dame means a lot to Kenny Minchie. That's one of the reasons why he decommitted from Pitt. And we're efforting to get his parents on the show Friday to kind of talk about it. His first game ever was the 2014 Music City Bowl.
Nice.
That was his first Notre Dame game ever.
That's right.
And guess who the starting quarterback is?
Hey, listen, I'm a Kenny fan now for real. I might get a jersey.
Well, if you get a jersey, you will be wearing your own jersey because Kenny Minchie is wearing number 8.
Oh, let's go!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Left. Yes, sir. You were Kenny Minchie's first Notre Dame quarterback. His mom has told us the story offline. That was the first game they went to. You were the starting quarterback, and you were the first Notre Dame quarterback that he fell in love with. He chose number 8.
Look at that.
He chose to rock number 8 at Notre Dame, Left. That's what's up, dude. That's what's up. That's what's up, Left.
Hey,
your legacy is still going, Left.
I'm about to tell you, I'm a Kenny Minchie fan. He needs to start day one. He start pushing that narrative. That's awesome. Get him a Will Fuller now. Jaden Greyhouse turned into a Will for him, man. You're gonna be on point.
We knew the story and we tried to get him on. His mom tried desperately to get him on the show, but his schedule was crazy right before he went down to the U.S. Army All-American game.
Let him do his thing. Now let him cook. What they say on Twitter, let him cook.
She told us the story offline, and she was like, yo, she said when they saw that you did his film breakdown and posted it, she retweeted. Remember, she was one of the first people to retweet it. And he was committed to Pitt.
Yeah.
She retweeted it and sent it to him. And she said it made him extreme. Man, he was just like, oh, man, Malik did my film breakdown. Man, look.
Hey, man, that's real, man.
Listen. That was, look. And the fact that he chose 8 Everything's come full circle.
Everything comes full circle. Now we
It's
got a chance
amazing.
to win. Now we gonna win a championship for sure.
That's dope. That's dope. I was proud to like be part of it and like have her tell us the story. Man, absolutely amazing. Even if we can get them to come on for like 5 minutes to talk about it on Friday.
That's crazy. Because if that reverberates to a championship, you the man. You the man. I'm going to the game. We're gonna wear the same. We're gonna take and all that.
Hey, if he leads Notre Dame to a championship, he will cover all your sins, bro. Your apology is, we already accepted your apology, but your sins will be forgiven.
He'll make it right. He'll make it right for sure. He'll put the number in a good frame of mind. That thing will be hanging up in the rafters because of him, man. Shout out Kenny Minchie, man.
Facts.
He'll make it happen.
Sam Hartman wears 10. Javante John Baptiste wears number 1. He comes in at 6'4" and a half, 246.
Man,
he's wearing number 1. Braylon James, he's 6'2" and 1/8 at 180. Rico Flores is 6 feet, 1 1/8 at 197. Jaden Greathouse wears 19.
Oh, that's an ugly number.
And he's 6'1", 208. I think he wore that in high school, or did he wear 81? I'm not sure.
So when's the last time somebody wore 1? Todd Light?
Greg Bryant.
Oh, that's right. But
I'm trying to think. I think it was Greg Bryant.
Yeah, Greg may be in the last one. I can't think of a. Do we have a thing with number 1 or no?
I'm not sure. Number 1. Who's worn number 1 since Greg Bryant? I'm not sure. I don't think anyone has left.
Dang.
The freshman Devin Houston comes in at 6'4", 282.
Ooh.
He's wearing 98.
282?
282. He's playing. He's playing this year.
He's playing next year because he's playing 282.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he got it. Yeah.
Caleb Smith, 6'2", 222. Now, Caleb Smith at wide receiver is 6'2", 222. Drake Bowen, freshman linebacker, is 6'2", 225.
See, that's why I said Caleb Smith might put that hand in the dirt. You get too big now.
No, he's fine. I think he's going to be the big body receiver.
Well, that's damn near like Jaden Greathouse. He might be like that in a season and a half. 225. Quick.
He's
209 now.
He'll probably get up to 210, 215 easy.
He might be 220 by the season. If he's not starting, he might get 225 if he ain't playing a lot. Just because this ain't Texas now. You're going to be sitting on your butt a lot. You ain't running around because you're going to be cold.
Christian Gray came in at probably about 6 feet, 5'11", 3 1/4. It'd be shoes, he'd be 6 feet. 182. Christian Gray was on the record saying he's trying to get to 190. Or that Matt Balis is trying to get him to 190. So Ben Minnick, 5'11", 7/8, 180. Don Schuler, 5'11 and a half, 190. Preston Zenter, 6'2". He'll wear 25. Jaden Alsbury and Preston Zenter, 23 and 25, respectively, at the linebacker position. Those are strange numbers for linebackers, right? 23 and 25. Yeah, Christian Gray's wearing 29. That's what he's worn.
29. Oh, okay, yeah, 29. Man, they trying to really create new legacy with these numbers because I ain't grow up wanting 19. I ain't grow up wanting none of them numbers they talking about.
Yeah, but Thomas Harper wore 13 at Oklahoma State. Braylon James wore 14 in high school. Rico Flores wore 17 in high school. Drake Bowen has his high school number. Christian Gray has his high school number. Caleb Smith wore 80 at Virginia Tech. Devin Houston wore 98 in high school. So, and then Sam Pendleton, that big boy, 6'1", 300 pounds at offensive line. Already, that's a big dude.
Dang, you 300 going in, God damn.
That's a big dude.
You're only going to get bigger in college. You don't get
That's
small.
a big dude.
No guy at senior year or however long, 3-4 years after in school is saying I'm at my high school weight. So you're only going to add. Well, that's why I'm like Jaden Greathouse. Man, you going in at 209.
Yeah.
Naturally you're going to eat good. You're going to work out. you're gonna be 215 for the season. Then by week 10, you done add 10 more pounds.
So
Them pregame meals be good.
so it's dope. The legacy of 8 continues, baby. At Notre Dame.
Man, shout out Kenny Minchie, man. That's huge love, man. I hope you go undefeated, man. You know what I'm saying? retire that 8 jersey the right way.
Lucky Lefty podcast. Once again, we want to say congratulations to Mike Bray, who coached his last regular season game at Notre Dame. I think they have the ACC tournament coming up this weekend.
You got us a chance to make a run?
No. No. They can pack. They don't, man. They can come back in their uniforms that night. They don't even have to pack. No.
All right, come on. He's a better coach than that.
No. I heard the celebration was amazing. He went to the bar and celebrated with people after the game. They ended and they beat Pitt.
He really
is the number 1 seed in the ACC. So it is what it is. Shout out to
the women's
team. You know, they won the first game, but being Louisville 3 times, Louisville was hot, shooting the rock. And they didn't have their best player. So Olivia Miles getting healthy for the tournament is the most important thing. That's the most important thing. Olivia Miles getting healthy.
Let
me tell you something.
Don't let me up for the championship.
I think they found something with two playmakers and 2 ball handlers now, bro.
Where
I think with Olivia Miles being hurt, yeah, I think they found something. I definitely think they found something, bro. It's looking good. With Olivia Miles coming back off injury,
she's in line with another great point guard lineage through Notre Dame. Just a straight baller, can do it all.
Sonia Centrone, bro. The sophomore came alive. She came alive without Olivia Miles. And if they can find balance between her and Olivia with the ball handling, Notre Dame can make a nice little run.
I mean, shoot.
And then they lost Mabry as well.
You got to run into that machine and Don Staley down there. They undefeated going into the tournament.
Yeah, people try to downplay Don Staley. I'm like, yo, she's the next Geno. She's the next Geno in the game. And remember, we had the debate. I'm like, dude, climbing that mountain, it's not about to be easy. That's not about to be easy.
What for who?
For whomever, dude. Every woman's program.
Neil
what's up? Yeah, but that's not going to be easy. That one is not going to be easy.
It's not good, but she's a lot closer to it than a lot of people start.
Bro, have you seen South Carolina's front line?
No, they're nice. No,
okay, then. Notre Dame's front line.
Shout out Zaire Cook. She's from Ohio. And
she's holding it down.
Holding it down.
All I'm saying is, until Niall recruits that front line, like Don is recruiting, because they both have good guards. Notre Dame has guards. South Carolina has guards. The difference is that front line.
That what's the 23 with the pink hair?
Yeah.
She's nice. She's nice.
That front line is the difference. So hey, we'll see. Lucky Lefty podcast. Thank you for everybody that's joined the show.
What's her name? One Asia Wilson. We just need Asia Wilson.
Yeah.
We straight.
Yeah. We had a great show today. We talked about losing our special teams coach, man. That really made
we talked about him too good on the show.
Brian Mason, we talked about him too good, man. We're gonna miss Coach Mace. The search is on. We have some candidates. Marty Biaggi, I think he was coaching Notre Dame before, and some other guys doing interviews. And hopefully in the next couple of days, we'll have our new coach for special teams. But salute to Brian Mason and continued success to him as he goes to the NFL with Indianapolis Colts. Also, Chris Watt takes a job with the Indianapolis Colts as well.
Man.
So
if we got all these coaches, How are we winning 8 games? Let's talk about that. Every coach is trying to get hollered at by everybody else, and Vegas is giving us 8. Come on, man.
Yo, we talked win totals. We talked about the NFL Combine. We talked about the early enrollees and transfers and their numbers, heights, and weights. And then we talked about the fan base, athletics versus academics at Notre Dame. So it was a great show. Absolutely amazing show today, LL Nation. It's because of you guys that we continue to spin it different. Left, this is a funny thing. I watched The Last Dance for like the 30th time. It's just certain episodes I watch, Left.
Chicago's greatest story.
Like episodes 7 and 8 just does something for me, right?
Yeah.
Marcus Freeman, to me, in the midst of all of this, is like Michael Jordan after BJ Armstrong. BJ Armstrong beat him in game 2. And he was in the locker room with the bat. And everybody was like, "You worried?" And he's smoking a cigar like,
yeah,
it's one game, dog. Everybody can talk ish when you up 6 points. But to take a real dude to talk ish when you're down or when you're tied.
Yeah.
And he was just unbothered. Like, you looking at him like it's a 1-1 series. And everybody's like, "Yo, Mike." He's like, "Man, I'm not worried about these dudes. We know what to do." And honestly, that's the type of head coach I think we have. Like, regardless of what's going on around him, losing coaches, the outlook may be a little crazy. I think you have a head coach. I can see a Marcus Freeman doing it a little bit different. Got a cigar. I don't think he has the bat, but he's sipping on some Onora whiskey.
Yeah. And
he's in his office with a nice cigar. Little pour that Onora whiskey.
That Onora is speaking to him. Yeah. Because that's one of the features of Onora whiskey. When you about 2 or 3 fingers in, it starts speaking to. It's like that inner voice that gets louder and louder, and it starts telling you the right advice.
It's the good inner voice, right?
It's that good inner voice that's telling you, listen, take a little bit more. It is annoying. I'm gonna unlock the secrets to your next season. So I trust that Marcus Freeman has gotten the right advice from himself and that bottle. Shout out to Notre.
You know what time it is.
Petticoat. Petticoat Junction.
It's time to get petty.
Oh, we did a good job executing. Are you upset with something?
And fire up the Petticoat Junction train.
I just don't like you. You don't? No.
What is today's petty historic Petty Junction?
Petty Junction, petty story of the day brought to you by Onora Whiskey at OnoraWhiskey.com, that premium American whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. Hey, man, you dude, look, it's all about Ja Morant today, bro. It's all about Ja Morant. Look, man.
Hate money. Some people just hate money.
God, you got $250 million waiting on you starting next year. Look, man. Jalen Rose, in my opinion, flat out, if you want to hear someone explain and relate to Ja Morant, Jalen Rose did it best on NBA Countdown on Friday night when he started off by saying, "I am Ja Morant." Like, I was that dude.
Jalen never got 200 million.
No, he did not. But he was like, "I was that dude with the microwave on my hip. I had that heater. And coming from Detroit, I had my guys around me."
But he wouldn't put it on social media.
No.
That's
Well,
the
so
difference.
there was no social media like that back then.
But just from even during that time, you're not telling people about the stuff that you're doing that may not be the best. So it's just like I think the telling on yourself generation is a weird paradigm we're living in.
Yeah.
Because
it
usually
is.
when a kid does something bad, you want to hide, and now they do something bad, or not even bad, but they do something that they know is not looked great upon, and they put it on Instagram. They don't even have the private investigators no more because they tell on themselves. It's crazy.
You're right. They don't even have to hire investigators, even though the NBA has investigators following just about everybody.
They're like, man, we going out of business. They done got more info on themselves than I could ever get.
Come on, man.
Because why would you? Okay, if you're in another city and you're brandishing a gun, they're gonna think it's your gun, which means you took it on your team plane. Why would you tell on yourself? That's so stupid.
I told you when he went up to the mall, I said something's wrong.
The mall thing was crazy. Okay, the mall thing was crazy.
That I'm like, okay. First of all, why is your mother at the finish line in the mall? You're a
When you got
millionaire,
your own sneakers.
dude. Dude, I'm sure they get boxes every week. Every week. I'm
From
sure Nike is
all
shipping
type of
boxes to
people.
the entire family. His sister is a hooper. She's cold. She's rocking his shoes every game. But the mother has to go to the finish line? For what? Socks?
Man, listen.
Headbands? What?
It's the same as when they say you can't give all of us 300,000 as reparations because we don't know what to do with it. We would go to finish line. We wouldn't take the 300,000 and not all of it. I'm saying as a majority and do something good. We're gonna go to finish line. So it's no surprise that John Morant and his mama are going to finish line when he got $200 million sitting there. It's no, of course. Of course. What do you mean?
My prayers, seriously, my fervent prayer is that a light goes on this young man. He sees what's at stake. Like that's my fervent prayer for this young man, that he genuinely sees what's at stake for him. Forget everybody else around you. You, because unfortunately, everybody else is depending on you. And I can't speak. I can't speak to. I'm the head of a family, so I know, but I get support, great support from my wife. So I know feeling the accountability of being the head of something, but to that extent, trying to pull everybody up, and everybody's looking at you, and everybody has their hand out. Like I said, my prayers go out to him, man. I
He
hope
probably
the
got
light goes off.
23 years old with all that decision making. At 23, to make it 12
Bro,
million a year.
at 23, I would have become the bougiest dude you have ever seen in your life. And I grew up in the wild hundreds on the south side.
Yeah.
I would have become the bougiest dude you've ever seen in your life.
They would have heard.
I would have been rolling down windows, offering Grey Poupon. Man,
Where would you have lived at? You wouldn't have lived over where you was at. You would have moved somewhere.
you talking about if I played in
23
Chicago
23
at 23?
You got John Morant contract.
No. If I'm 23 and I don't have a family yet, I'm definitely living in a high rise downtown in Chicago. Oh, that's easy. That's easy. Yeah, high rise.
Yeah. Straight up.
High rise downtown. Right? Did I get a family? I'm probably moving to like the northwest suburbs, western suburbs.
So you're not hanging out with your entourage and your boys and all that. You're not gonna be brandishing a weapon at the.
No, I mean, but I can relate. True story. True story. One of my dearest friends, one of my dearest friends growing up was a hustler. Was a hustler. When I graduated, moved back, got engaged, I would go chill with him at his crib and never thought anything of it. We knee high.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? This is my guy. And I found out that my daughter was on the way. And I was sitting in his crib one day and it hit me. And I said, I can't be here.
Yeah, I just can't. You
I
start
said,
feeling comfortable. I just can't even be
yeah,
here.
because if it was just myself, first of all, I shouldn't be here anyway, honestly.
But you like, I got me.
Right, I got me. But now that I have to think, I'm thinking about my daughter, like, no, it's too much on the line now.
Yeah.
And we had an honest conversation. And he was like, cool. He was like, I get it. Because anything, man, anything can happen. Somebody could come in trying to rob. Somebody could come in trying to rob. Or police could bust in. Like anything. It's like, man, look, it's not worth it. So, I mean, look, hopefully he gets his life together.
But it's stuff like this is like, he take a couple of days off and then what? You don't change overnight.
No.
So I just think that he's just in those positions to where he's got to, I don't even know if it's putting himself around good people because I think a lot of it is just him.
Yeah.
I really think if he stopped listening to NBA Youngboy for just a week, I think mentally he can get back to this.
Now, this is facts.
Music thing has a lot to do with it.
Brandon Gilbert's the suburb dudes are the first ones to try and look hard.
And what's the connection to it?
That's facts.
Music. Suburb kids would never know how to act if it wasn't for the music that they are dying to listen. John
That's
Moran,
a great point. It's a great point, bro.
Young boy.
Great point.
I mean, you would think he's in the game. He act like he in the game.
That's a great point, Lef.
If he didn't listen to NBA Youngboy for 2 weeks, I promise you, he'd be a different man. Because if it's not for that, he talk just like the dude.
It's a great point, Lef. That's a great point.
It'd change his whole perspective. If NBA Youngboy called him and said, "Look, bro, just stop listening to my for 2 weeks, and I'll come hang out with you personally."
Yeah.
Just my music is influencing you way too much.
It's way too much. Yo, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great Monday. But most of all, make sure that you spend it different. We'll holler.